Hello everybody and welcome back to The Longest Journey. Last time, story time. um, so, we got 5 stories to hear, I think. 4 or 5. And then he's going to ask us a question about each. And we have to answer them in order to get into the temple, the castle. To talk to the wise woman or whatever. Oops. We are recording. So that helps. So. Knitting in hand. Oh no, you're serious, aren't you? Sorry. So we heard one from Sayana last time, but hang on, why is it going all bright?
Hi, Saina.
Hi, April. Bye,
We can't hear it again. Oh, I know why. Hang on. So I'm gonna have to read it. Now I don't know whether to read it now or read it after we've heard the other ones. Probably after. I'll give myself a bit of a rest first. Read it now. It's fairly long. At least it's in little bits. No, I'll read it now. But you guys better pay attention, right? No, pay attention. Pay attention. Took us in 5 star. No, that's weird. Okay. Alright. This is my tale, the tale of stars, and I tell it to you in my own words, as it was told to me by my teacher in her words. In the small village of Jinjai, near the rumbling hills of Unyin, there lived a girl called Mona. She was a curious girl, and she would always get in the way of the grown Alatian. Go play somewhere else, they would say to Mona, but she didn't want to play with the other children. She wanted to be where the grown-ups were, to see what they were doing and learn from them. But one day, after getting many complaints from the pottery makers and guardsmen and traders and soldiers in the village, Mona's mother told her that she wasn't to interfere with the grown-ups anymore, and that instead she should go play with the other children or sit still and draw or work with clay. But Mona was always curious, and now, since she wasn't to be among the grown-ups anymore, she decided to go exploring in the forest that lay just outside the village of Jinjai. She had many times been forbidden to enter the forest because it could be a dangerous place, but Mona was very curious. Of course, she wasn't planning on going far into the forest, but then her eye caught sight of a white fluff tail hopping through the tall grass, a rabbit, and Mona, curious as ever, gave chase. The fluff tail ran away into the forest, and Mona followed, blind to where she was going, and interested only in catching the white fluff tail so that she could keep it as a pet. But then, after a good while, the fluff tail disappeared into a hole in the ground, leaving Mona alone in a small clearing somewhere deep inside the forest. She was exhausted after running after the fluff tail for so long, and as she looked around the clearing at the unfamiliar trees and flowers, she realized that she hadn't been paying attention to where she was going. For the first time, her curiosity had gotten the better of her, but this time it was serious. Mona was too young to fly, and she had very little sense of direction, and chasing the white fluff tail made her dizzy and tired. It was getting darker, and Mona was all alone in the deep, dangerous forest. too sleepy and too scared to be able to go anywhere, when I curled up with her wings wrapped around her under the leaves of a tree and began crying. Soon it got really dark, and somewhere, not far away, wolves started howling at the moon. Mona was so scared she was petrified, but after a while her exhaustion got the better of her, and she fell asleep. She woke up when she heard the voice calling her from somewhere from above. Looking up at the starry sky, Mona saw a vision of the spirits of the five tellers gazing down on her. "You have let your curiosity lead you astray," said one. "You are lost, and you deserve to be lost," said another. "Poor little girl," said a third. "We will help you home," said a fourth. "But remember this," said the fifth spirit. "We will lead you back to your village and to your mother only if you promise us one thing." "I promise," said Mona. "Whatever it is, I promise I will do it." "Very well," said the first spirit. "You will make the story of this wet night into your own tale, and you will call it the Tale of Stars. It will be a tale to warn the curious to be careful," continued the third spirit, "and not let their curiosity get the better of them. And," said the second spirit, "to remind the Aleitian that the spirits of their tellers watch out for them when they most need it." And so the spirits of the five tellers guided Mona through the forest, and by dawn she was home. And Mona did tell her tale, the Tale of Stars, to everyone in the village, so that everyone would remember that the curious must be cautious, and that the spirits of the tellers were always watching. This was my tale, the Tale of Stars, and I told it in my own words as my teacher did to me. That was nice. Hello, Cell, and hello, welcome back, Snore. Right, back. Right, that was one. Almost,
Hi, Mima.
Shadowhawk. I appreciate that.
Hi, April. Do you know one of the four tales of winds, stars, sea, and homecoming?
I had to learn the tale of homecoming. It took a long time, but I think I got it now. I'm better with pottery than I am with the tales, unfortunately. Do you want to hear it?
Please.
Very well. This is the tale of homecoming, my tale, and I shall tell it in my own words, as told to me by my teacher, in her words, and by her teacher in turn. Moran was a handsome young Aleitian man with strong wings and a hardy beak. He lived below the white cliffs, where the water was salty and the fish plentiful. Moran was betrothed to Inara, the loveliest girl there ever was. She was fair and slender and tall, and her eyes were the clearest shade of blue. But Moran was hesitant to enter into union with Inara, to become her husband and to give her children. He would always come up with a new excuse for why they had to wait a little while longer. Now, Inara was skilled at pottery, but even more so with stories, and the teller of the village had many times asked Inara to be her apprentice, to learn all the tales, so that someday she could take over as the teller. But Inara refused, knowing that if she did accept the teller's offer, she would never be able to marry Moran, because a teller cannot have a husband nor children of her own. Her refusal to become the teller's apprentice was unheard of, because who could refuse such an honor? But to Inara, love was more important. Her love for Moran was beyond honor, beyond reason. But despite Inara's love, Moran was still hesitant. And then one day he told Inara, "I am traveling on a pilgrimage to the far shores. I will be gone for some time, and while I am traveling, and in accordance with our traditions, I will be freed from our betrothal. Not until I come back will the bond between us be renewed." It was not unusual for a young Aleitian man at that time to go on a pilgrimage, and the bond between the betrothed would often be cut while he was away, to be formed again upon his return. But Inara was heartbroken, because she had thought that Moran would soon want to marry her. When Moran saw her tears, he said to her, "Do not weep. When I come back, I promise I will marry you. Just wait for me, and stay with your pots, to make the time pass quickly." And then Moran left on his pilgrimage to the far shores. Many years went by, and Moran had exciting adventures on the far shores. But by and by, he began to long for home, and for Inara, and now he had finally realized that he loved her, and that he wanted to marry her. But when he returned, he could not find Inara amongst the potmakers. He went to visit her family, and they told him that, after waiting for many years, Inara accepted the teller's offer of apprenticeship. And that when the teller left on the last wind during the previous winter, Inara herself became the new teller. Angry, Moran made his way to the teller's nest, and when he saw Inara, he said to her, "You promised me you would wait." But Inara did not say a single word in answer. She just turned around and lifted something wrapped in leaves from the cot behind her and gave it to Moran. Moran unwrapped the package, and inside he found an old pot, cracked and broken in two. "What is this pot?" he asked. "And why did you not wait for me like I asked you to?" And finally Inara spoke, and she said to Moran, "I made this pot for you, my dear Moran, when you left, because I wanted it to be my marriage gift to you. But when many, many years passed, I finally realized that you did not love me the way I loved you, and to live hoping otherwise would be death." "But I want to marry you," cried Moran. "I came back." But Inara just nodded at the broken pot in Moran's hands and said, "Like an old pot that is left without care, a heart may break in two, and a broken heart can never be mended." And so Inara turned away, never to speak with Moran again, and Moran's heart, like the pot that was left untended, broke in two, because absence makes a heart brittle. This was the tale of homecoming, my tale, and I
That's
told
not
it
how
in
that
my own
saying
words
goes.
as told to me by my teacher, and as I will tell it to my student when the time comes.
Bye, Nima.
Goodbye, April.
Absence makes the heart grow brittle? I'm not sure it goes that way. Eat the pot.
Do you know one of the four tales of winds, stars, sea, and homecoming?
Mine is the tale of sea, human.
Would you mind telling it to me?
I know FK.
I would be happy to do so. This is the tale of sea, told in my own words as it was. This was a very, very long time ago, when the Elation were a strong people, and we could spend days riding the hot winds above the seas. We hunted fish then, and we were at war with the Merum, the Wet-tails. Acalis was one of the strongest warriors there was. His claws were sharp and long, his beak pointy, and his teeth strong. Acalis was admired by everyone in his clan, and because of this, he was cocky and arrogant. So one day, the teller of Acalis city asked him to perform a very important and very special duty, to bring a sacred jewel to the teller of an Elation town across the sea. This particular jewel was very important because it signified a union between the two towns, and it would benefit the people of both that it was delivered safely and promptly. Acalis grinned and told the teller that he would deliver the jewel both quickly and safely, and that she was not to worry. But the teller did worry, because Acalis was young and too sure of himself. But she wanted to test him, and to teach him that sharp claws, a pointy beak, and strong teeth are not all a warrior needs, that a warrior must also be wise and careful. So Acalis set out across the sea on his flight. It was on the fourth day that he spotted something in the water that caught his attention, and forgetting his duty and following his curiosity, Acalis dived towards the water to investigate. When he came closer, he saw that there were Merum in the water, foolishly hunting close to the surface, and Acalis saw an opportunity to again prove his might. As a great warrior to his people, and to capture the fins of a few wet-tails. But this time, a callous arrogance got the better of him, because the Merum had set a trap. As he dived towards the Merum with his claws, a spear shot up from the water to hit him. Acalis struck the water and dropped the jewel he was carrying, and it was all he could do not to drown. Acalis was bleeding, and the Merum were grabbing onto his wings and his legs, but he fought bravely, and finally he managed to escape. But even though he now lived, he was dead inside. Because the shame of losing the sacred jewel would always be with him. Acalis could not return to his village because he had neglected his duty to his teller and to his people. And so he went away to a small island where he could be alone. To himself and his people, Acalis now became the Lost One. He who had been on a sacred mission but had failed in his arrogance. A year passed, and one day Acalis met with human traders from a ship that came close to his island. From the traders, Acalis heard speak of a hideous creature that lived in the sea, the Octowoe. The Octowoe was said to have a third eye, like a jewel, and that this eye pulled hapless sailors into its deadly eight-armed grasp. Acalis knew immediately that the Octowoe's third eye had to be the jewel that he lost in the sea a year ago, and he now saw the opportunity to redeem himself. But elation were not used to water, and the thought of submerging himself in the cold, harsh ocean chilled Acalis to his heart. But he was the Lost One, and if in his death he could at the very least redeem himself, to his own heart then it would be worth it. So Acalis fashioned himself a spear, because in the water his claws and his beak would be too slow, and he flew out to where the Octowoe was last seen. And then Acalis dived into the sea. The dark water closed in on him, and his wings and legs went numb. But still Acalis kept pushing down until he saw the lair of the Octowoe. Spotting Acalis, the Octowoe attacked, and Acalis saw the monster's third eye, his sacred jewel, shining bright in the darkness, and his heart was filled with a sense of duty and courage that he had never felt before. But as he began fighting the eight-armed monster, Acalis realized that if he were to fight like he usually did, he would not stand a chance. He would have to think differently. And so Acalis tricked the Octowoe into following him through a tight chasm where the monster got stuck. And then he swam above it, and using his spear, tipped a rock on top of the Octowoe. Swimming back down again, the Octowoe was flailing helplessly. Now, almost out of air, Acalis took the sacred jewel from the Octowoe's head and swam back up. Finally, Acalis could deliver the sacred jewel to the town across the sea, and upon returning to his village, he went to the teller, bowed his head, and said, "Forgive me, teller, for in my arrogance I thought I could do everything. But I could not, and I became the Lost One because of it." "You were lost," said the teller, "but you are no more. Because now you see the limits of your own strength, and you will know that a warrior must be careful and wise, in addition to being strong and fierce." This was the tale of C.
That was long.
And I told it.
I'm trying not to comment too much on what you guys are saying. You know, get them as soon as we can.
Do you know one of the four?
Mine is the tale.
Very much.
Then I shall tell it. In the village of Karan, in the mountains of tall winds, there lived a young Elatian woman named Iwana. Iwana had one desire above all others, to soar higher and farther than anyone else. And even though her wings were no broader, nor her body sleeker than anyone else's, she pursued this foolish desire without rest. And as time passed, she did soar higher, and she did fly farther than the other young elation in her village, and her name became known far and wide amongst the tribes of the mountains of tall winds. But still, Iwana was not happy. She was not happy because, in her vanity, even though she was a better flyer than almost everyone else, and to her eyes, she was still not good enough. She wanted to be so much better than anyone else that she would be remembered for all time as the best flyer amongst all the elation. And so one day, Iwana decided to climb to the top of Mount Bakta'ana, the Tower of Light, and to soar from those giddy heights to the ends of the world. Her friends and her family pleaded with her not to, because every elation knew that to soar from such heights was dangerous, that at such heights the air was thin and the winds treacherous. But Iwana would not listen, and on a cold and clear morning she climbed up the Tower of Light to the rock and the ice at the very top. From there she could see to the ends of the world. And it brought tears to her eyes to know that now, finally, she would be greater and better than any elation before her. And so Iwana spread her wings and leaped off the mountain.
And died.
Those who watched her from far below said that for a split moment Iwana soared, and she soared higher and farther than any elation before or since. But then the treacherous winds caught a hold of her, and the thin air made her plummet towards the ground, and to fall to her death amongst the rocks at the base of the mountain. In her vanity, Iwana could not see beyond her desire to be the very best. And vanity always stands to fall. That was the tale of winds.
Right. So we got them all. We heard them all.
Are you ready for the questions now?
Yes, ask me the questions.
Okay, here we
In
go.
the Tale of Winds, which mountain did Iwana fall from in her vain attempt to fly higher and further than anyone else?
Huh.
Mount Bakta'ana, the Tower
I could have
of
answered
Light.
that anyway.
That is correct. In the Tale of Stars, what did Mona see in the sky that helped her find her way home?
I could probably, or maybe this choice isn't even there. You know what? Yeah. Yeah. So we don't even have to remember. Well, I don't.
The spirits of 5 tellers.
That is correct. In the Tale of Sea, what creature did the Lost One battle in his quest to recover the sacred jewel?
The Octawo?
That is correct. My final question to you is this.
It's as difficult as what I
In the
imagined.
Tale of Homecoming, what was given to Moran by his teller when he returned from his pilgrimage?
A broken pot.
A broken pot, to teach him that absence may break a heart in
That's
two.
kind of disappointing.
You have correctly answered all my questions, and so have proven your knowledge of the 4 tales. You are the Windbringer. The teller would see you presently.
Yeah, that's kind of disappointing. You know, I was hoping that they would give you answers. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure whether I got that message now, but yeah. So you'd have to just talk to them, skip through it, and then she'll know them, won't she? It's not really a riddle, is it? You just have to talk to them, and it would have been better if like, you know, with the mountain, it gave you 3 made-up names, so you didn't actually know which one it was, and you actually pay attention. So they gave you like 3 made-up names for the Octawo, and 3 possible things that he got when he came back and stuff like that, you know. So I think it could have been a lot better. No, we just okay, anyway. Well, we'll save that in options, I think. Options and save it. That one. And then we'll quit the game. No.
She's the teller. She must be over 100 years old.
Come closer, human. Closer.
Yeah,
I cannot
would
see
be
your
bad.
face. Closer still. Come sit here by me. There you are. You see, my eyes are not what they used to be. Ages ago, I could spot a ladybug crawling up a straw of grass from 15 tree lengths up. Now, I have a hard time seeing my supper. But my ears, balance be praised, my ears, they are as good as ever. I could hear you outside, learning the tales my children tell. You are a good listener and a fast learner.
They were interesting stories, and your people told them well.
That is what we do. The elation are the keepers of the tales, and I am their teller, the one who must know all the tales told since the day we came to this world.
How can you do that? How can you remember every story ever told?
I knew nothing
The
else at your
secret is to
time.
tell them often and to tell them in your own words, not the words of your ancestors.
Doesn't that mean that the stories change with every generation?
Yes, as all tales must. Change is important. Otherwise, the tales will have no meaning to us. They will just be words, and we do not care about the words. We care about what the words tell us.
Yeah, okay. No, I quite like that.
How long have your people been telling stories?
Since the beginning,
No, she
human.
doesn't make 'em up.
Since we came to this world a long, long time ago.
You're not from Earth?
The
From
message is still the
Arcadia?
same. The story's still the same, but
Not
the words
according to our
change.
tales. We came on a great wind before the divide, when the
Oh,
earth
the
was
flying.
one and humans had yet to learn of magic and
I
science.
get it. No,
But we were a different people then, and the tales we tell from that time are vague and incomplete. Like myths and legends, the younger elation pay little attention to these tales. Sometimes I worry they will be lost with me, these tales, and I am getting old, very old.
I came to you to find answers to some important questions.
That was good, fun.
Ask, and I will try my best to answer.
That was good.
Have you heard of an ancient god or dragon that lives beneath the sea?
Once, long ago, when my people lived in harmony with the Merim, there were stories of an old god worshipped by the Merim who resided deep in the darkest depths of the ocean. According to legend, the old god had once brought the Merim into their realm, into the ocean, and he was now sleeping, resting before the journey back.
Back where?
To a great ocean amongst the stars. When the time came, he would gather the Merim and bring them home with him, back to their world, to their ocean. Strangely enough, we have a similar tale. It is said that the great wind that brought us here will someday return to bring us back to a place where we can soar forever on warm winds.
Like heaven.
In a way, perhaps, but without the need for any of us to die. The great wind will just sweep us up and carry us away. Every evening before I go to sleep, I recite this tale to myself. It is a comforting one.
What do you know about the Dryac kin?
kin are numbered 4. Or so our tales tell. 2 in this world, 2 in the other. The mirror world. The white and the blue, the red and the green.
Do you know where they are?
No, the tales never say. The kin are elusive. They keep to themselves. I have never seen one myself, and I doubt any of my kind has. The tales do say that our past and our future are tied to the fate of the kin, but how I would not pretend to know. This is one tale that is yet to be told.
It'll be the evil one,
Do
Dragonster.
you know anything about the Guardian's realm?
This is human business. Would you not know more than I?
Your people are the keepers of the tales. You remember more than humankind has forgotten. Please, I need to hear what you know.
That is very little. The Guardian's realm is home to the Guardian in his tower. No one is permitted within except the Guardian who was, the Guardian who is, and the Guardian who will be. And of course the Dryad kin, who were instrumental in its making.
Have you ever heard of the existence of a hidden entrance to his realm?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have heard tell of such a thing, though I would not know where it is. I gather that one of the kin may be able to tell you.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't have any more questions.
I am glad I could help you with some answers.
I'm the Windbringer.
I know you are. It's strange to me to hear those words spoken. I did not think they would be in my lifetime. But here you are, standing in front of me as real as the sky is blue.
I'm sorry I have to ask, but what is it that the Windbringer is supposed to do for you?
I did not expect you to walk in here and have all the answers, child. The balance has both blessed you and cursed you, and it has sent you here to do what it wills. The Windbringer is said to be the first sign of the great wind that will take us away from here. For a long time, the Elation have lost the strength they used to have. Our bones have become weak, and our wings fragile. Where we used to be able to soar for days on strong winds, we are now using our legs to walk rather than fly. Why this is, we do not know.
10 yen.
You know of the reason for this?
I'm just guessing, but it makes sense. Go on.
The tales also say that the Windbringer will unite us with our past and end the age-old strife.
With the fish people.
I know. You must make peace and be reunited with the Merim. You share a common ancestry.
I have always thought we did. The tales were too similar, the signs clear. But my people, they will have a difficult time understanding why and how this can be.
If you don't, both the Elation and the Merim will die out. When war broke out between your people and you were forced to move up into the mountains, it compromised a precarious symbiosis. A substance called tanyan was abundant where the Merim and the Elation lived in close proximity. It brought fish and heat and light to both your people. But now, living up in the mountains, your way of life, your diet, your customs and habits, they've all changed. And that's probably the cause of your brittle bones and fragile wings.
Then we must make peace with the Merim and restore the balance between us, so as to strengthen us both and prepare us for the journey that will surely come soon. When our sitting is over, I will speak to my people, and I will elect one representative from the Elation to meet with the Merim in the place of your choosing to open a dialogue.
I guess it's
what we
time for
want.
you to talk to your people and for me to make arrangements with the Merim.
Where do you wish for our meeting to take place, Windbringer?
You want me to decide? Well, I know. Send your ambassador down to the ancient caves by the beach. Inside, there are remnants of an old Elation settlement and a Merim city. It's a good place for your two people to meet, don't you think?
Yes. And could you ask if they would bring their half of the stone?
The stone? You have the other half?
We have held onto it for centuries, knowing that someday it would be of use to the Windbringer.
It will, trust me.
Then we must make haste and arrangements. It is an important day, so let us not waste light. Go and wait for my ambassador in the caves.
Good stuff.
It's amazing. This place is so beautiful. And the scent of sea and rock and nest. This scent is of home. This was home a long, long time ago, according to the tales. We lived in peace with the wet-tail, with the Merum back then.
Now you'll be able to live in peace again. And with the Tanyan bringing fish to your doorstep, you'll be able to eat well and restore strength to your bones. Soon you might even be able to soar on the winds for days like you used to do.
I hope you are right, Windbringer. And I hope that the Merum will see the sense in it too. They are coming, are they not?
They said they would. Hush, I hear something.
We are here, Water Stiller, as was promised.
Good. Now, as representatives of your respective peoples, you, the Queen of Amiram City, and you, guard to the Elation Teller, must fulfill the prophecy and join the two parts of the one stone.
We hope that our peoples may be joined again, Elation, and that we may live in peace and prosper.
As do we, Merum. And we pledge to do all we can for this to happen.
Friends.
The stone is now whole, Windbringer, and the Elation and the Merum will once again be as one. You may take it with you.
Thank you. The both of you.
Come now, April, and we will take you to our sleeping god. May his wisdom guide you and lead you down the right path.
We got a thing! Oh man, okay. Never mind, we'll look at the thing later. And she's crushed by water pressure. Shh.
It's the second half of the piece of the stone disc entrusted to the Elation and the Merum a long time ago. It's a piece of the stone disc I got from the Banda people. I'm so deep now, I really should have been crushed by the pressure, but
Okay.
I'm fine. Wet, but fine.
Okay, I'm glad you acknowledged that at least. It's like, yeah, she should have been, but she's okay. Move on. I like that.
That's a weird rock. It just doesn't look natural. The sand is covering something. That's a weird...
Oh, this thing's a weird rock. Move the weird rock.
Feels more like a shell than a rock. I don't think it's a rock. I think it's alive.
Okay, well, let's speak to the thing. The small orifice.
It's some kind of organic sensor.
Okay, I thought it was a, hello. Poke it.
It's soft and spongy.
Okay.
Hello? Is anybody in there? Spooky. Well, I guess it's an invitation of sorts.
No. Okay, we go through large orifices because just go in there, freaking just go.
There's air in here. And it's dry. I swear I'm never taking a bath again. I look like a real sailor. Arr, matey. That doesn't look like a natural protrusion. It's too big and round.
I know you. Do not be afraid. I know what you are.
You do?
Yes. Yes. What would you hear? I do not like to be disturbed. I wish to be left alone. I wish to rest until the day of ascension.
Let's be humble.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but I need some answers.
Everyone needs answers. Everyone has questions. I am not the oracle. I cannot answer all your questions.
Some of them.
I don't expect you to answer all of them, but I was hoping for an answer to at least some of them.
Then ask and be gone.
Charming. Well, we've got a little bit of a... Yeah.
What am I?
What do you mean?
You said you know what I am. What am I?
You do not know. Then it is not I who should teach you about your heritage. You must make this discovery on your own.
Listen, I'm tired. I'm wet. I'm at the bottom of the sea, and I'm breathing with the help of a polyp stuck in my esophagus. So just cut the Buddhist bullshit about a journey of self-discovery and answer my question. Please?
Your question has already been answered. That is all I will tell you. Your journey began with an answer. It is only now that you know the question.
Oof.
That's so not helpful. But thank you.
It started with the dream, with the dragon who was calling his daughter. Remember that?
I'm looking for a jewel called the Dragon's Eye.
Yes. I have one such jewel.
Yeah. And the
I guess
diamonds
that's
and
it.
everything.
Take it.
Are you sure?
Take
Thanks very much.
it. It is yours now. It is part of your destiny.
Because that rug on her floor
Okay.
was the same as the thing that was
Tell
in
me
the
if it
first
hurts.
movie. I remember that as well. Thanks very much.
What is the day of ascension?
The day when the kin return home. When my siblings come to me. And we rise toward the stars.
you're going back to wherever it is you came from?
We will. Eventually. When everything is ready.
When what's ready?
I will not answer that question. It is not necessary for you to know.
I need to know where I can find the gateway to the Guardian's realm.
So you come to me.
They told me, well, they as in the few people who could tell me anything at all, they told me that if anyone would know, it'd be you.
I know. When the Earth was divided, there was a doorway left open where the tower was built.
But it's moved, hasn't it? That spot. When Stark and Arcadia were created, that spot moved somewhere else.
Into the sky. Amongst the stars.
But where?
I knew you were coming. Your journey has not been a quiet one. Even down here, I could hear you. I speak with the Dark People. They are my messengers. They have prepared a map for you with the entrance you are looking for.
You knew I was coming and why? Then, okay, I know this is probably a futile question, but why didn't you send the Dark People to me earlier? You could have saved me a lot of time and hard work.
You are afraid of time and hard work.
No, but it's the principle of it, isn't it?
No, it is not. You had prophecies to fulfill. You had a purpose. Bringing my children together in preparation. This was important. And for that, I thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, I wish to sleep.
You said something about a map?
The Dark People have it. They will meet you. I will bring you to them.
What, now?
Yes. Hold on.
Oh. Okay, alright, we got another thing.
It's the Blue Dragon's eye jewel.
How'd you do?
I can't see the face, but I think it's a man. A tall man wearing a dark cloak. He's one of the Dark People, whatever they are. The ship is enshrouded in a thick fog, very mystic-like.
Hi.
Thanks for taking me on board.
Who are you?
Well, I thought you... I mean, didn't the old dragon... Well, I'm April Ryan, from Stark, and I guess you're a dark person.
But who are you?
Goths.
I'm just a student. Not anybody special.
You are special. Who are you?
I'm not. I'm just... I'm the Windbringer. I'm the Water Stiller. I'm April Bondu Mbata of the Banda and the Venar Kangang La. I'm a shifter, I will someday become the 13th Guardian, the protector of the balance. And I'm April Ryan. This is who I am.
Yes,
See how we go,
that
though.
is who you are. And you are a wave.
Oh, hello. Okay, bye.
Why am I, a wave?
You have a purpose. You play an important part in the cosmos. A wave is someone who propels people and events toward change, towards the future.
And that's what I do?
You are a wave. There are ripples from your passing, and they spread wide and far. Those ripples will never die down. The worlds will be changed by your journey.
You're telling me that everything I do affects the universe?
You cannot escape it. You are a wave.
The ancient dragon, the blue of the Drake kin, told me you had a map for me.
A map of stars, yes. It was made for you in our library, and given to me to hold. It is yours now. Keep it well.
I like it when people
It
just
is
give
the
us
only
stuff. That's
one.
nice. It's good. Makes a change. It's happening quite a lot lately, but yeah, it's just nice to get stuff for free.
I'm looking for an ancient stone given to you by the Sentinel, the Fathers.
I just have that as well.
You came for the stone. Of course we have it with us. Our ship would not have been chosen to meet you were it not for the stone we carry with us.
Everybody's just waiting around for me to show up, so that they can give me stuff. Who knew adventuring was gonna be this easy?
Said mine.
It will not always be so easy. Of that I can assure you. But here is our stone. We entrust it to you, as we were instructed to do when the Fathers first entrusted it to us.
More free stuff.
Can this ship take me back to Mercuria? I mean, would you mind?
We will bring you to Mercuria henceforth. It will take the night, but we will be there at first light.
That's fine. Thanks a lot.
You are free to rest here, to sleep, while we travel. The flames will keep you warm, but do not move too far away. My brothers are not friendly with outsiders. They do not take kindly to intrusion.
I'll keep that in mind. I'm staying right here.
Good. Sleep.
To 9. Shadows. Dash. Probably.
Did you sleep?
Very comfortably, thanks. Where are we?
In the Mercuria harbor.
But there are barely any ships here.
I do not know why. We must leave you here. We have other business.
Oh,
Carry your
something's gone
wave
wrong.
into the future, April.
Whatever that means, I'll try. Where did all the ships go? They're gone. This can't be a good sign. I mean, duh. The city looks strangely quiet and deserted. And the sky, those are not ordinary clouds. They look more like smoke. What's going on here? I look like a real sailor. Arr, matey.
Just had to do that.
It's obviously a map of constellations, and that cross must be where the gateway to the Guardian's realm is located. Where that is, I have no idea.
Well, if it's in space, we're kind of screwed, aren't we? Space?
I look like a real sailor. Arr, matey.
Have we got any other thing we can look at? The ships are gone. Die!
I know that sound.
Oh. Oh, it's from the dream thing. Okay.
And I know that vortex. Shit! Cortez must have found me, and just in the nick of time, too. God, that was close. What caused that shift to open just in time? It has to be Cortez. Finally.
Hello? Anybody there?
Yeah, where's Crow?
Who's there?
Oh, we're back on start.
It's just me.
April. It's good to see you again.
Yes, of course, that makes sense with the shift and all. We got a lot to read, but I'll probably do that next week as a roundup.
It's Father Raoul. Father Raoul, where is Cortez? I thought he'd be here.
I haven't seen Cortez for a week, and it worries me. He usually stops by once every few days.
How are things here?
You mean in the cathedral?
No, I mean here in Newport. How have things been going?
Nothing out of the ordinary. Why? Have you been away?
Yes!
You could say that, yeah.
It's just been hot and humid, and is getting worse by the day. And apparently crime is on the rise. But what else is new?
Still like a sailor.
Is there anything you're not telling me, Father Raoul?
I don't know what you,
Yes, you do. You're no ordinary priest. You know about Stark and Arcadia, about the balance, and I'm sure you know a lot more about Cortez than you're willing to let on.
How did you...
I heard you and Cortez talking last Sunday, and it scares me. And pisses me off to think that you're using me, that you're keeping things from me. I thought for sure that I could trust Cortez, but as it turns out, I can't. I was hoping to confront him with this, but he's not around, and you're part of it too, aren't you?
April, you have to trust me when I tell you.
Sorry, I can't trust anybody anymore. There's so much at stake, and I don't know who to trust, Father. Please, tell me what you know.
I'm sorry, April. I mean, I'm sorry you don't feel like you can trust anyone anymore, and I'm sorry that I don't know more than I do. But I will try to answer your questions honestly and openly as much as I can.
Who is Cortez?
What do you mean?
The way people react when I mention his name, the fact that he seems to have been alive for a very long time, and that he knows as much as he does. Who is he?
It's funny, but I've been asking that very same question myself many, many times. Who is this man? He's old, yes, and powerful. He has strong magic, but he rarely lets on exactly how strong he is. He prefers to be considered eccentric, crazy even. They are both excellent disguises.
You still haven't answered my question about Cortez.
That's because I cannot answer. I just don't know. He found me when I first came here. You see, I'm not just a Catholic priest. I'm also a sentinel, a minstrel.
You're a minstrel?
Yes, do you find that strange?
How can you belong to two religions at the same time?
Belief in the balance and belief in God are not mutually exclusive. The Sentinel Order was founded on the basis of protecting the balance, not to worship a higher power. As long as our devotion to whatever God we believe in doesn't conflict with our duty to the balance, and vice versa, who is to say we can't work in the best interest of both?
I guess. I just always thought of the Sentinel as its own faith.
It is a faith, but a faith in something less than God, yet more than magic or the laws of nature. The balance was created by someone, was it not?
I don't know.
Nor do I. But I believe. I have faith. That's enough.
What did you mean when you said Cortez found you?
One day, he came to visit me here. He knew who I was, that I was a minstrel, and that I was devoted to restoring the balance as well as to my God. We soon became good friends. He was very worried about the imminent collapse of the balance, yet told me that he was waiting for someone special, someone who might be able to help us.
Me?
Yes. He waited for a long time for you to show up, and when you did, it was hard for him trying to convince you that he wasn't crazy. I guess his disguise was too good. I don't know much more than that. Cortez tells me very little, only that you're the key to the survival of the balance. I can only assume that you're the new guardian?
That's what I've been told. Not by Cortez, of course.
No. I understand your frustration, but I cannot help you any more than I have. If there's anything at all.
Thanks, Father. But you've done enough.
It feels like I've done nothing. But God be with you, and the balance too.
How did you become a Sentinel Minstrel?
The Sentinel are not numerous in Stark. Not yet. Not with the Vanguard, the Church of Voltec, keeping a watchful eye and striking down anyone who dares to proclaim their faith in the balance. But the Sentinel are here, and when they find someone who they believe will be sympathetic to their cause, they approach them. That's what happened to me.
They asked you to join?
No. They told me the truth. I was studying theology at the time, and I found scriptures that challenged conventional wisdoms, made me question the validity of my faith. But once I learned the truth about the balance and the Guardian and the ongoing war with the Vanguard, it became easier to believe in God again, because now things made sense. And so, in the end, I chose to become not only a priest, but a minstrel, and I don't regret my decision.
Have you ever been to Arcadia?
No, I'm not a shifter. I'm stuck here, unfortunately. I don't mind. I've been fortunate enough to read most of the scriptures of the balance, and that in itself is a rare privilege for a Starker like me.
I don't have any more questions right now.
If you do, please ask. I want to help, and that's the truth.
When did you last see Cortez?
It must have been, I think it was last Sunday. Exactly 1 week today. He's been gone longer than that before, but this time
What?
This time I have a feeling there's something wrong. I don't like that feeling.
Can I ask you some more questions?
Always, April.
I don't have any more questions.
If you do,
I have to run, Father.
I hope to see you again soon, April. Please take care of yourself. And if you see Cortez, tell him to see me. Tell him that I've been worried.
Save the game. Alright, how long have we been going? Oh boy. We could play for a little bit, but I just seemed like a good place to stop, but I think it's too early to stop.
I look like a real sailor. Arr, matey.
We at least have to get changed.
It's a wall painting featuring, amongst other things, a cherub and a long red robe.
There's nothing that important about that. Alright, we've been gone a while, so people are probably wondering where we are.
There's something about stained glass windows that immediately puts me in a spiritual mood. Gas or water mains, perhaps. Or, ugh, sewer pipes. That would explain the smell.
Yeah, back here, and everyone's gone. Oh, no, it's still a taxi. No one's here.
It's out of order. I think I'll just take the stairs.
No reason to, do I? Okay. Okay. He's
I
still
really
there.
should go home and change into something that doesn't make me look like a medieval restorationist.
They're in the park. Bridges. Going around here.
From what I've been told, the clock... It looked like a real sailor. Arr, matey.
Oh, we can just go straight there. Oh boy. Oh,
What's
dear.
going on here?
April, run! Get out of here!
Why? What's the...
Run, April, now!
I wouldn't listen to her if I were you. Move over there. I said move.
Emma, who's this man? Tell me what's going on. Who are you? What do you want?
He's just following orders, Miss Ryan. He's just a servant. My servant. I was hoping you would join our little party. You're a very difficult person to find, Miss Ryan. A very difficult person to find.
What are you doing to my friends?
If you cooperate, nothing. Nothing permanent, at any rate. But if you make this any harder than it has to be, I will have your friends shot. All of them.
Is this the bad guy? I get the feeling this is the bad guy.
What do you... Do I know you? I know you. I've seen your face somewhere.
My name is Halloway. Gordon Halloway. I work for Jacob McAllen, who I am certain you have heard of, yes? He runs the Church of Voltec, also known as the Vanguard. He has been insisting on meeting you, Miss Ryan. Of course, we were not sure who you were at first, but we knew we would find you in Venice. You did give us a run for our money, I must admit. Your shift a week ago today made it a lot easier, but then you decided to stay out of town for a while. Smart. Coming back, though, was rather stupid.
How did you find me?
Oh, we have our methods. The eyes that see, the ears that hear. Our impressive technology helps, of course, and Mr. McAllen is not a bad magician. He can sense things. Besides, you have not been especially covert, have you? I mean, the job you did in the police archives was messy. Very messy. Footprints all over it. Not your footprints, certainly, but footprints. That poor fool, Mr. Manelli, was it?
Oh, God.
It took us 8 painful hours to get a confession. And then, it turns out he actually knew nothing about it.
Indeed.
Did you kill him?
Certainly not. He has proven useful in the past. No, a little mental laundry, and this nasty business is behind him. We even cleaned up a few unfortunate childhood memories while we were at it.
brain wiping stuff.
What do you want from me?
We want you, and what you carry with you. We have our connections in Arcadia. We know of your journey north. Good job on our friend Mr. Clax, by the way. Good job. Very impressive. Of course, not to mention the fine work you did on that Gribbler creature. She was not very cooperative. She just refused to listen to reason. But she was a twisted old girl, and we respected that. Unfortunately, we lost track of you once you set out to sea. The Tyrant are not very comfortable with water, and so there was no chance of sending anyone after you. However, with your good fortune and, shall we say, good breeding, I am certain you brought some valuable items back with you.
Yeah.
I would expect no less from a bright and industrious
Something about
girl
heritage,
such as
definitely.
yourself. So, give me what you have and let us be done with this nasty business. I will let your friends go, and then you and I go on a little trip.
Ooh. He's just mugging us.
There's nothing I have that you could possibly want.
Leave that decision to me, Miss Ryan. Just hand it all over, and we can let these fine people return to their pathetic little lives. You have caused them enough pain, yes? But first, we still need to teach you and your friends a lesson. Shoot that one.
Emma!
What the hell is going on?
Yeah. Wow. And then we got this guy to deal with. And on that note, end of stream. Yeah, and then there's that guy. See what it says? Yeah, I'm with you there, FK. I'm right in there. I'm with you there, but yeah, it is time to stop. I'm pretty tired. Yeah, why couldn't he have been shot? Wow. All right then. Oof. So, things suddenly turned for the worse there. Good pacing as well. You know, we got a lot of things done. You know, we're making progress, and then suddenly, boom, the bad guy shows up, and yeah, things really take a turn for the worse. So, props on the storytelling and all that. But time to go, I'm afraid, everybody. Sorry about that. Alright then, so thank you everybody for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure streaming for you all. Hope you've had a good old time of it, and hopefully I'll see you sometime in the week, or next Saturday for more hero questing, or next Sunday for more of this. Yes, low. It's probably a good idea. But I'm gonna go. You guys take care, everybody, yeah? Have a good week, and just survive without me, okay? Just try and get through life. Alright. Toodaloo, everybody. Thank you very much. Night night.